Weighing up the mood of conservative America in a gun show in West Virginia. Among the rifle racks and ammunition, there's anger and dark talk of looming conflict.
I'm very worried about this country, where it's going. If it keeps heading down the same way, they're going to push people into another civil war.
He's not the only one. Robert Brown sells vintage guns from the 19th century and says he also worries its civil war could be on the way back.
It could get worse, and it seems like every day it does get worse, and that's not good for us.
And if it gets worse, what kind of things could we see, do you think?
Well, not short of civil war. People's not going to stand for all of that stuff. It's going to be, you get your back on the wall, you got to come off of it.
You think there could be another civil war?
A possibility. A possibility.
Seriously?
Unfortunately. There's a lot of talk of it.
We found a lone Democrat at the show, here to buy ammunition, he said, in case things escalate.
If half the country decides to start going and killing Democrats, then, you know, I don't want to be a victim, you know. And, like, honestly, I've never thought about that happening until this election, you know, like legitimate fear that
you seriously think that's a possibility?
Absolutely.
So this is 762 by 54.
It makes for a combustible atmosphere as America braces for Donald Trump's second impeachment trial. At a gun store across town, no one wants the ex-president tried again.
It's a bad thing. It's a bad thing. He's out of office. What are you going to impeach him for? Impeachment is to remove him from office. He's already been removed. He was, whether you believe whether the election was stolen or not, I'm not going to get into that. But he's out of office. He's gone now.
In this part of America, it's like the election isn't over because so many won't accept its result. Since the election, there have been more than 60 attempts in the courts by Donald Trump and his allies to challenge its outcome, and they've all failed. Despite that, in poll after poll, more than half of Republicans say they still believe the election was rigged against him. For millions of Americans, there seems to be a crisis of confidence in their own democracy.
Thousands of votes have appeared from other places.
To try and understand why, we caught up with Mark Hanger, grandfather and businessman, and now aggrieved Trump supporter. Despite all the evidence, he insists the wrong man is in the White House.
Who do I think won that night? Donald John Trump.
You convinced of that?
Yes.
And that means your democratic system is broken.
It means it's cracked pretty bad.
You're a successful, educated businessman. You're not a conspiracy theorist, but you still think the election was rigged, even though there have been, I think, more than 60 attempts to challenge it in the courts, and none of them have stood up in court.
Yeah, you're right. There's such a hatred for Donald Trump that I think that many, many people said, no matter what it takes, good, bad, or indifferent, we got to get him out of there. Point around this way here.
There are millions like him living in an alternative reality despite Joe Biden's clear election victory, as a second divisive impeachment battle lies ahead. Dominic Waghorn, Sky News in West Virginia.